I consider myself a reasonable young man. You know, when a specific show gets canceled, I have this tendency. Yeah, I have a jacket on because I'm cold. Plus, I have my window open, so it doesn't help. Uh, you know, I when a show gets canceled, I have the tendency of hoping one day that that specific show would come back and have loose come back and tie up those loose ends. You know, Victorious there's a Victorious reboot on the way, so I hope that will, um, you know, hopefully that will clear everything up as to why there was no Victorious reboot or proper ending, I should say. There's even rumored about a Drake and Josh reboot that may be on the way. Hell, there's gonna be another Big Time Rush movie, which I'm definitely gonna watch, and I'm gonna react to the trailers. So, hell, even the iCarly reboot came back, and yet somehow that got a proper ending, but it still came back. So that one really surprised me. And it makes it somehow easier to deal with, I guess. So when they announced the Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated cartoon show coming out, that was based on the movie that came out a couple years ago. I love the movie, don't get me wrong. I love the movie and I love the show so far. But earlier this year, it was announced that the show was gonna have seasons 2, 3, and 4. But the show is pretty much ending on season 2. Not only that, it's I don't know I think it was Paramount or Nickelodeon that was involved in it. I don't know. Either way, they announced that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem show is going to be canceled after season 2. And the Dora, I guess the new cartoon Dora was also going to be canceled. I mean, Dora, I can understand. But seriously? Why would you announce that Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem show? Why did you announce it that it was going to have 3 more seasons before the sequel comes out? Or maybe after, and also maybe after, depending if they're going to go on a little hiatus after, season 2. And I know it sounds like I said hiatus, weird, I know. I can imagine the comments about that. Again, Dora, I can understand because, look, I never grew up on Dora. I always with her cousin, Diego. Go, Diego, go! Nickelodeon, I swear to God, if you copyright me because of that, I'm going to sue you for likeness. I'm probably not going to do that, but still. Again, Dora, I can understand because not that many people liked it. And not that many people, took that time out of the day to watch it and be like, oh yeah, this is like the Dora I grew up with. Okay, so why would you announce that Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Mutant Mayhem show? That's why I'm calling it, because I don't want it to get confused with the season 5 of. Because remember back in the 2012 cartoon, during season 5, when in season 5 they titled it Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is based off the comics from way back when. I just don't want to get confused with this, so. Look, I know some of you are gonna comment saying, "Oh, he is so sexist about the." I have nothing against Dora the Explorer. I just never grew up with it. It was never my show. Plus, I was always with Go Diego Go, her cousin, and that show, and I'm like, oh, this is like the male version of, Dior, of Dora. Maybe I thought that would be the same, you know? Of course, it doesn't help that I did watch a few episodes of Dora the Explorer, but other than that, I never actually grew up with it and actually buy the merchandise, because that show is for girls, and Diego is for the boys. That's how it was if you were growing up, especially back then in the 80s and 90s, when they would show like He-Man, for example, for the boys, and She-Ra for girls. That was pretty much what Dora and Diego was. I'm going on a random tangent about that, I'm sorry. But seriously, why would you Nickelodeon, I'm going to ask you personally, why would you cancel a show that you announced literally earlier this year that Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem was going to be canceled after you announced that it was going to have 3 more seasons? Possibly before the sequel comes out. Why? You just gonna cancel it after season 2, 3, and 4 were announced? God, this is like back then when they canceled Victorious. And it only lasted for like 4 seasons, and it never got a proper movie, and it never got a proper finale. Excuse me. And hell, even Zoe 101 came back, and I don't remember if that got a proper ending. I don't remember. I had to double check to be sure, but why, Nickelodeon? Why do you always do this? First, it was Victorious that you canceled after its 4th season, and now this. You're just like Warner Brothers when they were doing that tax write-off thing. You're a multi-million company. I think you can. I think you can actually have the enough money to produce the other 2 seasons of Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem cartoon show. You have enough money to do that. And just like Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks, which I haven't been kept up with. I think the last thing they did was Chicken Run 2. That's a whole nother video for another day, which I don't think will happen, but still. Nickelodeon, are you really that bored to just... I mean, you brought back Henry Danger with a movie, which I never saw, but I heard good things about it. And you canceled, well, what was that one show called that Kel Mitchell was in? And he played the father of one of the kids. Game Shakers, is that what it is? And he did the same thing with Sanjay and Craig, which I low-key kind of understand, because, hell, it kind of looked like a ripoff of Scooby-Doo, except it's a talking snake, and everyone just accepts it because he wears a backwards head and, a shirt, and everyone thinks he's another human being. Nickelodeon, seriously, are you this bored with life that you decided to cancel all these live action and animated shows? And Breadwinners, I low-key also understand. Well, to be fair, I never watched it. And if I did, I only watched 2 episodes, maybe 3, I don't know. Maybe people were not interested in it, but Nickelodeon. Sorry, seriously, Nickelodeon, are you this bored with life that you decided to cancel shows after the 3rd season or its 4th season, depending on the show? Is it us that... are you doing this because we're not interested? Come on. I mean, you freaking gave iCarly the proper ending. You gave Drake and Josh a proper ending, although many people who grew up with the show like I have was saying, hey, it doesn't feel like a proper ending. They should have at least done a movie. At least one more movie. Actually, they did. They did quite a few. Yeah, they did they did Drake and Josh Goes to Hollywood, Drake and Josh The Really, Really Big Shrimp, and Drake and Josh Christmas. They did 3 Drake and Josh movies. And guess what? Before then, and after all that, Drake Bell went in to do the live-action Fairly Odd Parents movies, which are very underrated in my opinion. Do not hate me. Those 3 movies are underrated. I recommend watching them. And I don't know why I'm pointing to my window. I don't know why I'm doing that. I mean to point at you. Although my mother tells me not to point at people because it's not nice. This is a problem when studios think they can just cancel a show after its 2nd season or so on and so forth, and them saying, oh, we're gonna make more sequels. This is why certain people should not, and look, I know I'm gonna sound kind of racist and kind of humanist. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be like this, but I'm freaking furious. This is why certain people should not make promises. Again, that makes me racist and a humanist. I'm sorry, I do not mean it, but I'm just saying. I mean, that's like saying, that's like me saying, in my next video, I'm going to do a Q&A. And then the video after that, I'm going to do a day in my life. And then another video after that, I might collab with one of my YouTube friends. And those never happen. Although I technically put that out in the universe and on the internet. Then I announced it all over social media. And yeah, this is, again, if you're offended of what I said, I'm sorry. I did not mean it like that. But this is why certain people should not make promises, because, I mean, look, to be fair, it doesn't count. I mean, yeah, technically they're working for Nickelodeon, technically, and it's technically not their fault because they're just working there, and it's technically Nickelodeon's fault, but still, this is why certain promises should not be made. This is why certain promises should not be made. And this is the reason why Victorious got canceled after its 4th season, people. I don't mean to blame Nickelodeon, but that's why. And it's because, at the time, Dan Schneider, it's at fault. I don't think he works there anymore because after all the allegations, but still, this is what happens. We can all blame Dan Schneider now. That's all we can do. Even if he doesn't work there anymore, we can still blame him because his evidence is all over the table. Take that as an innuendo, as you will. I'm just furious. I'm fast and furious. Where's Vin Diesel at? Where's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson at? That's how mad I am. I want Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Vin Diesel to come in here to calm me down. Trust me, guys, I am angry. I am furious. I just don't want to yell. I'm trying to keep my composure. And I know most of you are going to, expect me to throw a major fit. No, I'm 26. I have a heart condition. I shouldn't be throwing fits at this and be stressed out about it. Yes, I have a heart condition. For the ones who are new here, I do have a heart condition. I'll explain that in a future video. Maybe the next video I will. I don't know. It depends. I know the usual saying, hey, let your anger out. It's good for you. But at the same time, I'm trying to keep calm here. Because if I say certain things, Nickelodeon is going to turn around and sue me. And I don't want that to happen. So I'm just trying to stay calm here. So what was your reaction to all this? Let me know in the comments.